Hello, I'm Suzi Traughber. I'd like to tell a little bit about how I received the baptism of the Holy Ghost with the evidence of speaking in tongues. I was in my late 20s. The marriage that I was in at the time was falling apart, and I was devastated because, having been raised a Catholic, these are not things that happen at that era in time with Catholics. A friend of mine told me, I was calling out to God, and a friend of mine told me about a Catholic charismatic prayer meeting outside of Cleveland, Ohio, where I was living temporarily. I went to the prayer meeting. I had never been to a prayer meeting before. I heard something there that I'd never heard before. It was angel voices softly waving across the room in this small classroom where we met for a prayer meeting. I wanted what I heard. I knew it was from God, and I knew it would help save my life. No one had told me that. I just knew that. I asked the lady next to me, what are they doing? She said they're speaking in tongues. A week or so later, I went to another friend's church. It was a Lutheran charismatic church. I asked the assistant pastor, said I would like to speak in tongues. I didn't associate it at the time with the baptism of the Holy Ghost. Jesus hadn't shown me that information. He hadn't revealed it to me yet. He said, all right, what you do is I'll close my office door and you can kneel down over here, raise your hands and say, Abba, Father, and give God high praise. And I thought, I don't know what he's talking about, but I'll do it. And I did. He left the room, and I started speaking a language that I'd never heard of, very simple. When it happened, it was very quiet. I didn't feel emotional. I had a knowledge that something special had happened. Fast forward to 8 years later, I continued on with the Catholics. And Jesus at that time just chose to show us more truth that goes with the Holy Ghost. And we went to a prayer meeting, and a man was there, anointed man of God, who was preaching, telling us the truth about Jesus, about God, about the baptism of the Holy Ghost. This is all news to me. I'd never heard of these stories before. And I thank God for all of those trials, anything that I went through to get me where he's got me today.